Morning everyone, you join me on another dispatch from the hills of South Cowal, which if you don't know where South Cowal is, well you need to look it up on a map. It's a very beautiful place, but it's also a place where some desolation has taken place in the hills, which even those of us that live here don't often see, because we kind of have this nature blindness about what we're looking at, and we kind of think, oh, green, trees, that's wild, that's how it's always been. And of course, it's anything but. So I'm just going to turn the camera around and give you a... we are. So here we have a view out down towards where I live, which is kind of just down there somewhere. Out along the Clyde. Out in the distance you can make out, just about make out anyway. Let me zoom in, yeah, so there's the Isles of Cumbrae and Little Cumbrae out there, and then just beyond Towered Lighthouse you'll see first of all the island of Bute, and then just beyond it, sticking out, the island of Holy Isle in Lamlash Bay on Arran, and there's just sticking out through the trees there, you can see Goat Fell and Arran. So it is beautiful, it is, and who can say that that this isn't somewhere that I love being? Of course I do. So here we have one of the reasons why I wanted to show you the video. This is a bit of scrubland that has kind of formed itself really out of previously planted Sitka spruce plantations. They were harvested here and not yet replaced. I think some regulations changed around how close you could plant to settlements, which has changed a little bit the way the landscape's being used. And also, of course, the good thing is that as we've left it alone, a few midges around this morning, as we've left it alone, we have got some regrowth. We've got some, just down here for example, there is an oak tree that's just beginning to try and put its head up. And you can see it's already been nibbled. Something's been eating at it, because these saplings are absolute cherries to the deer who live in these areas in huge numbers, with nothing to check their numbers at all. No predators apart from the cars on the road, and a very occasional bit of culling that's done that doesn't really scratch the surface. And then also we have our self-seeded Sitka spruce, invasive species. More typically in this area would also have Rhododendron ponticum, which will come in and start to dominate the landscape, along with the more traditional kind of plants like gorse, the plant that always seems to be in flower. Is this saying something about, love is out of fashion the month that gorse isn't in flower? So yeah, I mean, we have got other trees, other plants in this area. But the other thing I wanted to show you is this. Now this is a very, very strange thing to see here. We are in the west coast of Scotland. This area would traditionally have been Atlantic rainforest, and yet the other day, about 2 weeks ago, we had a forest fire. Now such a thing has never happened. I've lived here 25 years, and in that period I've never known a significant forest fire, and yet the day this was happening there were forest fires in two different parts of Argyll. Sorry, two different parts of South Cowal. There was a large fire just above Dunoon, and there's this one here. And it's marching down towards, you can see my house is just down there, and this fire is coming down the hill at pace towards where we're living. It's quite scary. What's that about? Why are we having fires? Well, of course, it's been very dry. I mean, we've had no significant rain for well over a month. I couldn't tell you exactly because these things, dates always seem to be a little bit relative in my head. But yeah, well over a month. And the ground is dry. As you can see, we have this is the pathway which oddly has not burned. We've got fire on both sides of it. But the little pathway which is just formed by not many people like me walking up and down, the occasional mountain bike comes up this way. I think the track was created originally by mountain bikers. So yeah, that path hasn't burned. Some extra moisture in there, firmer ground, that held that moisture which kept the grass alive, I don't know. Reminds me of that, is that a biblical quote of, you shall walk through fire but you will not be burned? It's almost like, it's like there in miniature. But to either side of it, there's significant areas of burning. And when you see it all put out, it seems quite tame, but when these things are actually raging away and marching across the landscape, and fortunately it wasn't a very windy day when it was happening, because it's the wind that kind of whips these things into a white heat. But you see the spruce trees are singed. I don't know whether they'll survive or not. Maybe they will. The gorse bushes are just about disappeared. But you can see some recovery already in places. Little bits of grass, particularly the kind of the stuff that's the hardiest, is just starting to come through already. So I think nature will be okay here, or what's left of nature will be okay here. There's some sad things which I won't show you, of little frogs that have come out onto this path and obviously hopped out of the heat of the flames and just died on the path. So this is a disaster for whole small life forms and ecosystems. Yeah, so the other thing to ponder here is the old big questions around climate change. What is this about? What happened? Why are we seeing these strange weather patterns? No rain for months in the west of Scotland in late winter and early spring. What is that about? What shift in the normal flow of things have we created, or are we witnessing? I don't know. I guess we all sense that all-pervasive feeling that something is wrong, that things are out of whack, that we have to respond somehow. And that's a political feeling and a psychological feeling and an ecological feeling. My take on that is that lots of people, even who agree on that, whether they're on the left or on the right of the political spectrum, they may agree on the something is wrong bit, but the prescription of what we do about it is what we're arguing about. So, those on the right at the moment, who seem to be in the ascendancy, who tell you that the problem is immigration, or the problem is woke politics, or the problem is, I don't know, what other spectres we can draw up out of trans people or something. Those people who tell you that, none of those have anything to say about this. None of those problems address some fundamental root causes of where we are, living in an economic system that is blind to what we do to the hillsides. And the fires up here, already I've seen people talking about the fact that we've left brash lying like that as being the cause somehow of these fires, because there was fuel. And yet that brash isn't consumed. A lot of it is fairly unchanged. The grasslands around it very much are consumed. The issue here is systemic. That's what it seems like to me, at least. That it's not an individual cause. We are not talking about changing one parameter be that refugees, or be that all switching to electric cars. It's about looking in a much broader sense, because this is a system. An ecosystem is not one thing, it's a network of hundreds of interrelated things. And that's the only way we can think about this problem. The network of interrelated issues that we've kind of stopped seeing because we've got sucked into this individualistic way of seeing the world, which prioritises the me over the us. And here's a me, Rhododendron ponticum, as previously mentioned, still marching across the land as it does, just like the fire. A lot of these trees down were from a big storm, a very big storm, about just at the beginning of this dry spell actually, which knocked an awful lot of trees down up here. And we're another part of that same something is wrong kind of discussion. So, yeah, I'm not going to say any more, but I guess we're away just into the edge of where the fire was burning here now. You can see it made its way into this bit. There was some significant effort from local firefighters to fight the edge of it, but obviously most fires of that scale with a small volunteer fire service, you can't really do anything but try and control the edge and hopefully allow the middle to burn out, and I think that thankfully is what happened. But they were up here for 2 days trying to keep us safe, and we're very grateful for what they did. So yeah, I'm off now. I'm going to go and walk up into the hills and try and switch off my inner something is wrong and focus on everything that's right as well. Thank you.